vision in my head now. Let's get this party started. I don't know if I played this story before, and if I did, I guarantee you it was a long time ago. So if y'all hear this and y'all remember it, cool. If just remember we have new visitors all the time who hasn't. So that's my new proclamation. I promise you I will try not to play the same video. That's my first. The second one is, if I do, it'll be a while before we play it because we get new viewers who have not heard the story and/or have not heard our responses to the story. I say that all the same.
Okay, Pastor Marlon.
No, I say that all to say we heard this before. We heard this before. We talked about it. Okay, sorry, but we are at 3:01. There are more people who's watching the show now. Okay. The title is Not Being a Stepmom.
I know that sounds terrible, but hear me out. I've been newly married for around 6 months, and my husband has a 15-year-old son, Jason. My husband is only 32, so he had him early. It's also just been the two of them until I came into the picture 2 years ago. His kid never liked me, which I get. I made the duo a trio, and he missed just his dad. That said, my husband really wants to do the whole family thing that his kid didn't get growing up. He has a lot of guilt about his mom, who hasn't been in the picture since, his birth, and wants him to have a stable relationship to look up to like his parents. Now, Jason and I aren't openly hostile, but it's uncomfortable. Uncomfortable enough that I decided to sit him down and ask him what he wants from me. Immediate answer: "You're not my mom. You're not my parent. Don't act like it." And I said okay. That took him by surprise, and I asked if, by any chance, I could at least be his friend. At the time, he said he wasn't sure, and I told him that was fine, and to just tell me when he's ready and what he wants from our relationship. But until then, I won't try and parent him. That little talk did wonders. He avoids me less, talks to me more. He actually initiated a conversation with me the other day, and I almost cried. And even will watch movies with me, like if I'm watching a movie already, and he will sit down with me, and I'll restart it. Not much talk, but presence. My husband noticed and was initially happy until he asked Jason what changed, and he didn't like the answer. He confronted me about it and said I should have talked to him about the relationship I was trying to have and that me being a friend is inappropriate and I need to be a parent. That's what I signed up for. It put him in a bad position of not being able to use my input for future childcare choices, and I'm sabotaging being a mom. And here's where the am I the jerk is. I said, I'm never going to be his mom. He doesn't want me to, so I'll do whatever I can to make him at least not hate being around me. That made him cry, and he said it felt like I already gave up before I tried. Jason was not present for this fight, by the way, and my husband isn't a yeller. Think emotional conversation, but not mean. That kid is his life, and I know he just wants the best, but I think this is the best. But I may have overstepped here by going over his head and straight to Jason. Am I the jerk?
She did exactly what she was supposed to do.
Exactly.
And after Dad has a chance to process the difference between his hopes and ambitions and the process to get there, because at the end of this path, he'll get exactly what he wants. The child will adopt the mother, and they may never have your "hi mom" relationship, but she will become his mom in a way that fits them. And that's ultimately, I mean, I wasn't in that particular situation because my daughter was little, but that's what you really want ultimately. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna pull double duty as the parent, and my wife was able to become like that big sister, auntie type of thing, you know, where
Right in between.
My daughter, even now, after 20 years, she still doesn't call my wife mom because she has a mom. You know, she calls her Tiffany. But the relationship is a parenting relationship, like through and through. So it's like he's at this point, he's just trying to reconcile. So he's gonna try to. He has to process it, and just like the boy, just like the kid had to process it, just like the mom had to process it. That's just it is what it is. They'll get there. This fight had to happen. The discussions had to happen. They'll be good.
And she didn't cut any corners by not talking to the father. She did exactly what was right, as Leah said, and went to him, asked, what are your expectations for this relationship? What are my boundaries? He's not a little kid. I believe my answer before was she did everything right. And he needs some time, like, yeah, to process it, but to see that, look, your son is treating her with respect, with even a bit of deference, and that he actually genuinely likes to be around her.
Yeah. Now that he knows that she's not trying to steal his mom's place, he's letting her be her on their own terms. I mean, what more could you ask for? I mean, I know what more you could ask for. You could ask for a storybook ending where you chose the wife, therefore the child chooses who you chose for a wife. And I'm like, there's more people in the party, man.
I think
everybody has an opinion on the music.
I think what the father
did. I was 23. My step-parent and parent married when I was 8. It took until I was 23 for me to actually ask my stepfather to adopt me as his own. So
I think the problem is, and trust me, I'm not giving it. I'm not beating up on the husband at all. All I would say is the only issue that he had was he had expectations on what a motherly role is. And when that expectations didn't meet what he thought it should be, he got upset. And I'm with Liz and I'm with Anna. But dude, just chill out, process it. Better yet, I'm gonna tell you how you know you're in the wrong. You saw things were going good until you found out why they was going good. That's the part I want you to think about and process in your head. You saw it first. You saw no issue at all, but you had an issue with how the process happened, and that wouldn't have been the process you thought should have been done. Well, the process is, one, it's still a work in process. It's still in the works. It's not a finished product. It's still working. But two, I'm with Anna on. Anna says something that he needs to rethink himself. He's not a kid. I mean, what was the day? He was 15? 3 years. He's an adult.
Yeah. He's still a kid.
Yeah. A young adult.
He's a young adult.
Because at 18, ain't nothing changed with their address. Maybe. Maybe.
Big maybe. So anyway, I just want to end it off with, dude, just sit back and watch what happened. Just relax. If there is no there's no issue.
And I think you were really brilliant to point out that you were good with this until you found out that he didn't use like the word mom with you. What truly was it about this that's bugging you, sir?